Hey guys, Stealth here. Welcome to the War Room. This is episode 47 already, so we're actually going through these numbers quite fast, and I believe that this is, I think, the longest series that I've done so far. Anyway, let's talk about well, I'm not going to say the elephant in the room, let's talk about the zoo in the room. Ranked game number 6. That was up last Friday, or well, it went up last Friday. First of all, thank you for all your support. A couple of you guys even emailed me to boost my confidence, to tell me what I could have done better, to tell me how I could have managed the situation more efficiently. I even got an email from one of the guys who has been retired from military, and I might be able to get into let's say a tactical discussion with him, and hopefully a video about that will be up this week. So an actual military eye on Wargame, on how you can read the map. I mean, I like to think that I have a decent eye for strategy and tactics, but I've never been in the military. And that means that I don't have the training that these guys have. I don't have the experience that they have. I don't have the tactical and the strategical know-how that they've been trained. Or at least, probably not all of it. And that is something that we're going to be discussing this week, hopefully. Anyway, back to the ranked game. The first mistake that I made there, in case you haven't watched the video, please pay attention to that, is my mental state. I can do 2v2s, 3v3s, 10v10s. No problem whatsoever. 1v1s, I always get a lot more stressed out about. And I don't know, it's not so much that I cannot blame anyone else, because I never blame other people on the team. I always look at my own gameplay performance and see how I could possibly done better. I don't particularly look at how terrible my teammates played and start blaming them for the loss. I think that that is one of the worst things you can do, and I really despise people who do that and who don't look at their own performance first. So the first part about my own performance was my mental state. When I went into ranked games, I first had the mental state of there's no failure, there's just feedback. I can only get better from this. And then Friday I was a bit anxious, I was a bit annoyed, and I went into the ranked game going like, oh god, here we go. Let's hope that this one's going to turn out well, because I don't really have a lot of faith in my own performance in this one. And that mental state of mind really came back to haunt me, because, let's face it, your mental state, especially in a game like Wargame, where most of it is tactics, but definitely a good part of it is your own mindset too, your own feeling of can I actually win this? That part wasn't really fitted out well with me. I didn't come in with the right mindset, and I didn't go out with the win, so to say. Not even close, actually. Not even close. I went out with quite a defeat, and although I probably could have turned the game around, I didn't because of my mental state. I thought, well, no, never mind, this is lost. There's just no point in continuing this, I'm done. Although the game probably could have been turned around at that stage. It was just me. So let that be a lesson, or at least possibly an indicator for your own success be as well. What's my mental state? Am I going into this with, oh, never mind, I got this? Or, oh my god, this is going to get so tough, this is going to get so exciting, I don't think I can win, might as well quit. Now, in contrast, I did a presentation last week, that was Tuesday, so that was actually before the ranked game. It was a body language presentation for about 20 sales professionals, and normally I get a bit anxious, or at least I used to get a bit anxious when I started giving these body language presentations about a year and a half ago. Except this time I was like, yeah, bring it on. I know this stuff. I know that you guys know part of this stuff. I'm just here to make you aware of it and make you realize that it is a significant part of our daily life, our daily communication. And bloody hell, what the hell is this BRDM2 doing? Oh god. Wargames pathfinding can use a bit of work. Unless it was supposed to go there, but I don't think so. I really don't think so. Anyway, I went into that presentation with a different mindset. I went like, yeah, I got this. Get out of my way, basically. Get out of my way. And sure, it takes a while to get that comfortable. It takes a while to get to that mindset of get out of the way, I got this. Once you have that, especially for presentations, it makes everything just so much easier. And instead of being anxious, I had a lot of fun with it. And that's the same thing to where I want to get with strategy gaming, especially wargame. I want to get into that feeling of, yeah, I got this, get out of my way. Where that's something that I really don't have going on right now. So I'm going back to my original mindset for the ranked games. There is no failure, only feedback. And with that, I hope to just have fun and enjoy the learning, because that's all it is, right? We're learning how to get better at wargame. And if I can inspire a couple of you to do ranked games as well, or to get into wargame altogether, because you see me fail over and over again, then I'm happy to help. That's something that has been shown from quite a few of the comments, that you guys actually, well, I'm not going to say enjoy, but maybe appreciate seeing me fail, so you have a contrast. And one of you guys even mentioned in the comments that it was, I believe the phrasing was, it was good to see a semi-deity like you fail, because it gives us noobs hope. This is something that's called the halo effect. The halo effect states that if one element of a specific performance or a specific thing is good, then you're going to automatically assume that everything else about that is good as well. So let's say that you think that I have a good YouTube channel, then you're going to think that I'm probably a good wargamer too. Or you see a couple of my FTD videos getting a couple hundred views, and you're probably going to think, oh yeah, he must be a fantastic From the Depths player. No, not really. I'm not that good. I'm decent. I can make some decent designs. But I show you about 20% of the actual gameplay, probably. What I don't show you is the number of times I fail. Although I have been putting up quite a few of those adventure mode videos where I have been failing quite a bit. And the point that I'm trying to make is, don't believe everything you see. Because while it may look like the whole enterprise here of the YouTube channel is run really, really professionally and has a lot of editing and stuff, it's really not that way. Or at least I don't consider it that way. Let me give you a bit of a glimpse behind the screens of how I do YouTube. What I think most YouTubers do is that they record their videos, they do some editing, they throw in their entry or their intro video, maybe an outro with a recommendation for other videos to watch, and they upload that. I pretty much right at the start of my YouTube, I don't know, career? Is that the right term? Of starting my YouTube channel, I said I'm not going to do that. And basically there was self-interest, self-serving, completely. Because I said, hey, look, editing takes a lot of time. And moreover, and here's where the the personal part comes in, I don't want to have to give up my PC power for, I don't know, up to 2 hours on end to render a video, because that's how long it can take. A couple of, let's say a half hour to a couple of hours, depending on the processor that you're running with. And I just simply don't want to have to give up my PC for that long. I just want to be able to do games and not have to do editing. So, I don't do editing. What you see is what you get. And the way that I do YouTube is I select a replay. More often than not, I don't even look through the replay. I talk about the replay, or talk about the gameplay, or I play the game and I try to discuss what's going on and play the game at the same time, which works to varying degrees of success. I press end and I upload. That's it. There's no further editing involved, there's no intro, there's no outro, nothing. And lo and behold, it seems to be working out rather well. It seems to be so that this format actually works, and I'm getting away with not editing this thing at all, which I find quite interesting. And so far, I haven't had any comments over about, 800 videos or something? saying, hey, you should do some editing on this or that. Nothing. So that's quite interesting. Anyway, how do we get here? I was talking about there's no failure, only feedback. Ranked? I don't know. I got completely sidetracked there. Oh, whatever. Long story short, or actually short story long, I will continue to do the ranked games. And in order to prepare myself for that further, I'll be doing a couple of 1v1 training games, or 1v1 multiplayer games, whichever term you prefer. That's going to be happening tonight during the stream, so in case you're watching that video later than today, it's going to be September 12th, so look on the channel for a link to the recordings. I'll probably be recording this thing per separate battle, so you don't have to watch through a several hour stream. I find that, at least for me, that really deters me from watching. I'm like, what? You put up a stream for 3 hours? You expect me to watch all of that? Whereas if you put up several battles, let's say 20 to 40 minutes, depending on how fast you guys kick my ass, then that seems to be a bit more bite-sized chunks as far as videos go. So that's what I'm going to be doing, making it into smaller, separate video sections. And if you can't catch it, don't worry, it will all be uploaded. Other things that I have been up to. Last week, of course, I did a business presentation, as I mentioned. Sales presentation, 20 guys in the room, and it was just so much fun. There was no nerves. There was no, oh my god, is this going to work out alright? And I find that remarkable because I used to be this guy who was in the back of the class, always very concerned about doing presentations, about being in any way, shape or form in the spotlights. I absolutely did not want to. And I believe I mentioned this before, but that is actually what my username Stealth comes from. It comes from a sort of desire of wanting to be invisible, of preferring to watch other people and observe what's going on rather than be the observed or be the person in the spotlights. And I found that, I'm not going to say it's no longer valid, it's no longer true, because I still enjoy observing people without catching too much attention. But I'm getting more comfortable with it, up to the point that I don't mind doing a presentation. And I got a request to do a presentation for a much larger audience than I've done before. I got a request to do a presentation for 80 to 120 lawyers next month. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool, it's going to be fun. And then there was this part of me who said, what? You're going to do what? You know how many people that is watching you? But somehow that voice seems to be drowned out by now. It seems to be more along the lines of, yeah, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a group of people that I can really help with my skills, really help with my knowledge, and I can help them get better at their job. So, in case you are very anxious about presentations, in case you are anxious about ever getting good about doing presentations, don't worry, there's hope. There's me, I did it, and if I can do it, then so can you. Sure, it's going to take a bit of getting uncomfortable, it's going to take a bit of, oh my god, is this going to work out alright? And you're going to fail, flat out fail, like I'm failing in ranked. But in the end, if you can get that presentation skill down, then you have such a massive advantage over your fellow peers, over the guys your age, or the girls. Respectfully, I know that there's about 2% of my audience who's female, so I'm talking to guys mostly. Doesn't mean I don't involve the other party. Anyway, if you can get that presentation skill down, if you can train yourself in that way, then you become so much more appealing to employers as well. Because you can go, yeah, I've done presentations for XYZ amount of people. And Toastmasters, which is an international brand or an international group aimed towards purely helping you get comfortable with being in front of an audience, with being out there and showing what you can do, and getting better at it, because all the people who go to those meetings are just about as nervous or potentially more nervous than you, then by all means go for it. It is a really nice way to improve your presentation ability. in a sort of, I'm going to say noob-friendly way. It's nothing that you're really getting judged for. Everybody there is out there to help you and get better themselves. So it's not like you're going to get bashed every way to Sunday because you don't know how to do presentation. Quite the opposite. And I believe there's a Toastmasters group in, well, most cities around the world. They are a very, very large group by now. So have a look at that, and maybe it's going to be something that helps you out. Other things that went on last week, or which are actually still going on this week, is, and I'm not sure if you're playing the game, World of Warships, I'm just going to call it a debacle with World of Warships, which is the Prince Eugen. The Prince Eugen is a Tier 8 Admiral Hipper class cruiser, and it is one of those famous names. Admiral Hipper is a cruiser that I don't particularly know the service record of, but I do know that the Prince Eugen was involved with working together with the Bismarck in the encounter with the Hood. Now, I believe that after that engagement it didn't go on to do that many interesting things, but when you mention Bismarck, most people will get the association of, Prince Eugen, right? Yeah, exactly. The Prince Eugen is nothing particularly special. It is just an Admiral Hipper class. However, Wargaming, and no, not Wargame, Wargaming from World of Warships and World of Tanks is selling this thing for €40, which is pretty much the same price tag as any other Tier 8 cruiser that they're selling. Any other Tier 8 premium cruiser, I should say. The thing is, most Tier 8 cruisers, or most Tier 8 premiums, have something special going for them. Atago has the healing ability. If you look at the Mikhail Kutuzov smokescreen, the Atlanta radar at Tier 7. It's all of these special abilities that these cruisers have, and I'm not going to discuss every single one of them. It's not what this war room is for. The Prince Eugen, so far, doesn't have anything special going for it. And the entire YouTube community contributor tribe was going, what? You're going to sell this thing for how much? For basically a premium version of a Tier 8? How do you see that going down? And Wargaming was doing so well. They were doing so well in the sense that they seemed to be listening to their audience. They seemed to be listening to their customers. And they adjusted course. A couple of months ago you had all of these super premium packages. If you wanted to get that new shiny premium ship or premium tank, then you had to shell out a lot of cash. You had to be able to buy not just the tank or the ship that you wanted, but also a lot of the other stuff around it. So you'd be getting, in case of World of Warships, a port slot, or World of Tanks, a garage slot. You'd be getting a whole ton of flags, premium time, gold, all of this stuff that you probably didn't really need, otherwise you would have purchased that separately. And you were even getting some things that you could buy in-game as well. Equipment, maybe flags or consumables that you could use in the game. And this is, I'd say it's fine if you want to package that up, but don't expect a lot of people to buy it, because you are artificially inflating a lot of the price tag of that vehicle. So, Wargaming adjusted course. They said, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. What we're going to be doing is making sure that you have the capability to still buy those packages if you want to, but you don't have to. You can also buy the tank or the ship separately. And that seemed to work out really, really well. And for a while, the community was really happy with it. And they said, thank you. You finally listened. Now we can get back to buying your stuff at a more reasonable price tag. And then the Prince Eugen. A not specifically special Tier 8 cruiser. And full disclaimer, I haven't played the ship. I've tried becoming a community contributor for World of Warships. The Dutch representative simply will not respond to my emails whatsoever. I reached out to the European General Community Contributor Manager. Again, no response whatsoever. So, Wargaming, screw you. But I've seen quite a few videos, and for some reason, it seems like a really, really big cash grab. Like, Wargamers just went, yeah, we need another bit of cash influx in order to keep these games going. What can we do? Oh yeah, we can probably build Prince Eugen. Basically clone the ship that we have, package it in with a couple of premium items, and sell it off for 40 euros if you just want to get the ship, and I believe not even a port slot, maybe. Or you can go all out and buy a 130 euro, which I believe is 120 pounds and probably 140 US dollars worth of package. Huh? Now, keep in mind that they're employing a technique that's called price anchoring, or price differentiation, where instead of just having one bundle, they're giving you the most expensive package, which is the 130 euro bundle first, and then they're giving you a contrasting option, which is automatically going to seem better. And it works always in threes. That's why I have, for example, at least you used to, with the Apple products, you used to have one of, let's say, 8 gigabytes, 16 and 32. Whereas the 32 would seem ludicrously expensive, and the 16 would seem like, oh, yeah, okay. Whereas if you would just put the 16 one up for sale, the 16 gig one, people would go, bloody hell, that's expensive, I'm not going to buy that. And that's something that Wargaming seems to be employing as well. Now, I had a look at this 130 euro bundle, and what they're giving you is 18,500 gold, which could be priced at 63 euros. You're going to get the ship. Let's say that the ship is priced at 40 euros, based on buying the ship separately. Then you get a port slot, which is only 300 gold. Then you get 30-day premium, which is in euros about 10 euros. Let's say 9.95. Total price package, 115-ish euros, depends on how you do your calculations. And then you get some equipment, you get some consumables. I believe you also get a bunch of in-game credits, or silver as we call it in World of Warships. But other than that, the package is just really expensive. And here's the thing, you're gonna need to have one of these packages. A lot of the wargaming community was like up in arms and going, what the hell are you thinking? How can you offer a package that is that expensive? And the reason is both price anchoring and showing that there is a cheaper option, which by contrasting it with a more expensive option makes the cheaper option seem all the more appealing. But they're also having a premium package because there will always be someone who buys the premium package. And it may sound a bit weird, but some people just like buying the premium package for the sake of it being premium. And there can be all sorts of reasons for this. There can be people going like, oh, look at all my money, I can easily afford that. Or I was going to need the gold anyway, I was running out of premium. Whatever the reasons are, there is always going to be someone who buys that. So whenever you're packaging pricing, always try to have multiple options. Always try to have a package which is basically a, let's say, lowest acceptable offer, which, in case of the Prince Eugen, I believe is the 40 euro package. That's the least that Wargaming is willing to accept. Then there's a package that they would like you to take, which in the Eugen case is about 60 euros. And then there's the premium package that they don't expect you to take, but that they have there both as contrast, as well as a way to attract those super wealthy clients who are going like, yeah, I can afford that. Watch me, I can afford that. And by doing that, they're always going to be able to catch people in all categories. So in case you're ever going to be making your own pricing or your own packaging, then try to have multiple different offers. One is the lowest bit you're willing to accept. The second one is basically the thing that you want people to take. And then there's the third package, which is the premium or the super premium, that you don't expect people to take, and which can serve as an anchoring or as a premium offering that you don't expect people to take, but it would be nice if they did. Anyway, enough about warships there. What I did also get into last week was XCOM 2. I didn't feature it on the channel because XCOM 2, I don't know, it doesn't seem to be getting that many views. I find that I don't watch XCOM 2 myself either, while I do enjoy watching World of Warships. I'm not sure exactly what goes into that. That's something that we could discuss in a different war room. And I'd be interested to see your comments down below about that. Why do we enjoy watching games like Wargame, but don't particularly enjoy watching games like XCOM? Or why are there less people who enjoy the XCOM games than Wargame? That's something that I'm looking forward to seeing your opinion on. I got back into that game, started a new campaign, added a ton of new mods, added a couple of new soldier classes, and utterly got my ass kicked. So I started out a campaign once again. Ass kicked again. And again, and again, and again. Finally, after playing a couple hours yesterday, I'm finally getting to a point where you're starting to get this sort of critical mass where the inverse difficulty curve starts to kick in. And this is something that I find extremely interesting about XCOM. Normally, a game has a difficulty curve that just curves up. The further you get into the game, the more difficult it becomes. Let's say that, name a tough game. I don't know, for all sake, we're gonna take Wargame Ranked. Theoretically, the further you get into ranked games, the more difficult it becomes, because you're going up against more difficult opponents. In XCOM, this is not quite true. Sure, you're going up against more difficult opponents, but your weapons are getting significantly more powerful, and so much so that they seem to overtake the increasing difficulty of the enemy. At least without specific mods that boost the difficulty setting, you're going to run into stuff where you're going to say, yeah, this is just too easy. And this seems to happen later on in the game, and that's what they call the inverse difficulty curve. It becomes easier the further you get into the game. And I find that not too many games have this. I have noticed though that Fallout and Skyrim have this to some extent, in the sense that if you have a character which is really high level and it becomes, for example, this super stealth assassin, you can take out anyone, and I mean anyone, without being attacked, without being detected, without getting killed off. So there's a bit of the inverse difficulty curve going on, but not that much. And with XCOM, I just found it to get quite noticeable, where the enemy just becomes a bit of a pushover. Like, yeah, that's cute, you bring in all those mechs, but they better get the hell out of my way or I'm going to turn them into a big pile of scrap. Whereas initially, when you're encountering a mech in XCOM 2, you're like going, oh dear, I hope I brought enough grenades to take care of the armor, and then I have enough firepower left by the time that thing's done firing to have all of my soldiers survive and get enough firepower in to kill off that thing. Whereas later on, as mentioned, you're going, just another mech. Let me get this. And it becomes so much easier. So I'm hoping to be able to survive to that critical point, the inverse difficulty curve, where it actually curves the other way around, where you're going, yeah, I got this, easy peasy, let me do it. So that's something that I'm working on in my spare time as well. Now moving on, what can you expect this week from the channel? As mentioned, a stream tonight, 1v1 battles. I won't be on TeamSpeak, and as far as the opponents go, it's going to be a first come first serve. I'll be keeping my lobbies public, so that if you like to have a match against me, you can join. I'm not going to be separating out any elite players from any newer players. It's going to be first come first serve for you guys, but for me as well. So I could go up against a Major General and get my ass kicked the one match, and then go up against someone who's just getting into the game, maybe watched a few of my videos and goes, yeah, I'm going to take down stealth. And it's going to be a completely different game experience. And that should also keep it very, very interesting. So that's tonight. From the Depths Adventure mode will probably continue Wednesday. Tomorrow, so that's Tuesday 13th, will be Tactical Tuesday, so more tactical gameplay on that. Wednesday is also Warships, before I forget. Last week I mentioned that I was considering getting the Saipan. I got it, and that thing is just a monster of an aircraft carrier, as I'm going to be showing off Wednesday. Thursday, probably more from the depths, some wargame. Friday, ranked. Once again, ranked. This is going to be number 7. And Saturday, probably subscriber Saturday, so it's going to be one of your games. Sunday, probably more from the depths. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to put up 2 videos every day like I have been for the last week or 2, as I'm getting more busy. But I'll see what I can do. I'll do my best. And with that, that's the end of this week's War Room. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned a bit more about the psychological concepts that both wargaming are using and that is being used in wargame. Price differentiation, mental states, price anchoring, inverse difficulty curves. I think we covered a lot as far as psychology goes in this one. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what your thoughts are. I hope you have a good week, and I hope to see you tonight during the stream. If not, be sure to watch the replays. They're probably going to be very, very interesting. And you can laugh, cry, or just enjoy getting me get my ass kicked and kicking ass in Wargame 1v1s. Thank you for watching. See you soon for more videos.